Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to answer some of your most common YouTube ad questions. I have Raphael here. He's going to help us answer some of these common questions. Okay, another person on our YouTube channel who was watching one of our videos, which if you haven't, by the way, which are the best niches to do YouTube ads in? We'll have the link up here as well, so you can take a look at that video. This person does ask, great video, helped me a lot. Do you think it would work for hotels? Because that one is pretty different from other niches like insurance, for example, because there's nothing delivered to you. You have to go there, right? So my short answer is yes, it can work for hotels. We've actually done in the travel niche, and we've actually spent quite a bit of money on these accounts. You know, we spend anywhere from 1K to even up to 10K per day, sometimes more, depending on the seasonality. So as you know, with hotels, it's a very seasonality type of offer. And what I can say is that for this to work, you need to have a great offer. If the hotel is it's a luxury hotel specifically, that's probably gonna work really well if you have a great offer, a great hotel, and you have great ads that present the hotel in such a way, and add to that a good funnel, right, where you're getting people into converting well on cold traffic coming from YouTube as well as warm. So what we've noticed before is that YouTube works really well in the travel niche when you have a mixture of cold and warm put together, and you have specific packages. Raph, what are your thoughts?
I agree with everything you said. You also have to temper your expectations of what it is. For example, if your hotel in a place that is not as populous, not really known for people to travel to, and yet you're still trying to generate that traffic, you could probably still use YouTube ads at a local level. It will build awareness. But the most important thing is you can't just say what everyone else says. Oh, okay, stay here, we're great, we're charming. Like, that doesn't matter. People don't care about that. What's so awesome? Why should someone want to stay in your hotel? Whether it's a special discount, whether it's a special service that you provide, whether it's special amenities that you have that nobody else has, you really have to hit that home in your creative and in the offer. If you're in a more popular destination that people always travel to, I don't know, Hawaii, New York, Caribbean, things of that nature, it should be a little bit easier. Having said that, it's really your offer is going to do a lot of the heavy lifting more than anything. So think of something amazing, think of something that stood out, think of something a little bit different than just, hey, you can come here for cheap. And the type of person that you're trying to bring in, right? You're trying to bring single travelers, families, couples, things of that nature. So if you take all those things into account, yes, it could work. Could be a little bit more difficult given certain circumstances, but it definitely can work if you figure out the right offer.
Most definitely. Perfect. All right, let's move on to our next questions here.
Hey, really quickly, if you are somebody that's looking to get into YouTube ads, whether you want to do it yourself or you want it completely done for you, what I recommend is that you go down to the description of this video and click on the top link. What that will allow you to do is book a free strategy session with somebody on our team where we will sit down with you completely for free and see if YouTube ads make sense for your business. And with that, let's jump back into the video.
This is also from our YouTube channel. Balthazar asks, what would you recommend testing first with YouTube? Ad copies and conversions, and then placement and keywords? I think the question is a little bit vague, but I can kind of already understand what he's trying to get to is, you know, if you have an offer that you're just barely launching, or you're just kind of putting things in motion to try and get data back and, you know, and make certain decisions, what should you test first, Raph? Like, what would be your first step there? Would you consider your messaging? You know, if you have an ad ready, let's say, with different hooks, or hook 1, for example, versus hook 2, would you test that first and then focus on other targeting options like placements or keywords? What's your take on this?
Well, first of all, 2023, we're not doing placements of keywords or topics.
Exactly.
So that's eliminated. I think the question is, and I'll rephrase the question, should I be testing creatives or targeting? You're testing a little bit of both. However, the most important thing is the creative. So what you want to do, it all depends on your budget and what your CPA is. And by budget, meaning if you can spend $50 a day, $100 a day. From there, you decide, okay, my CPA, let's just say it's $10. Then you want to say, okay, maybe I want to spend $100 a day. That's all I have. So based on that, you want to grab your creatives. Ideally, you want to start out with 3 to 5 creatives. Maybe test $5 per day for creative. How did I get there? I said, okay, I have a $10 CPA. I want to spend $20 over a span of 3 days. 20 divided by 3 is a little bit around 7. We're not mathematicians here, as you can tell, but it's a little bit around 7. So I'm gonna round down to 5. I want to spend $5 per ad. I have 5 ads. So now I'm spending $25 per ad, but that's in one audience. If your budget is $100 a day, you divide it by 25, now you have 4 audiences. Now you're testing 4 audiences, and each audience, you're testing 5 ads. And that's how you structure it. As far as what audience to start off with, you want to start out with custom segments based on search terms. You want to stick maybe, I would say, 2, maybe 3 of the audiences be that way. Different type of grouping, obviously. And then you want to test maybe some market audiences that make sense or have some type of correlation. And you want to start off that way. You're going to realize that some of your custom segment for search audiences will not spend. Doesn't matter. I don't care what Google says. We have an estimated audience of 500 million impressions. Sometimes it just doesn't spend. But when that happens, you can say, hey, let me test another custom segment for search audience, pause that one that didn't spend the following day. Or you could test another affinity audience, a market audience, things of that nature. The bottom line is, at the end of the 3 days, even if you got conversions, you didn't get conversions, the most important thing is you look at your data. Let's just say you did get a conversion. You start looking across all the audiences, which one of my ads got me closest to where I want to be or got me to where I want to be. And in the event that you didn't get any conversions, you might want to look at what was your CTR, which ads had the highest CTR. Why? Because what you're going to do is, and I'm assuming that you did not hit your targets, you're going to use that best ad to come up with new ideas and new creatives. At the end of the day, it's not the targeting that is really going to take you to the next level. It's the creative. So once you figure that out, then that is going to give you the tool that's going to allow you to scale. So if I gave you a short word, one word answer, I'd say creative. But to give you a little bit more context, you want to test a little bit of both, but ideally it's about, hey, this is the best creative, not, hey, this is the best audience. Because if you're stuck on one audience, you're not going to be able to scale. But you have one creative, that's awesome, you'll be able to scale.
Perfect, great explanation there. So we have a question here also from our YouTube channel. And the question is, any tips on how to reduce the cost per view for a campaign that is targeting a customer segment audience? The view rate for this campaign is around 21%. It seems like these customer segment campaigns are generally more expensive than the keyword targeting campaigns that I need to run.
Yes, as far as the CPV, I don't really worry about that unless my end goal, which could be cost per lead, cost per purchase, whatever it is that you're tracking, is a problem. Usually, I do look at CPMs, and the CPMs are usually going to be higher for a custom segment for a search campaign. Why? CPMs are going to be based on 2 different factors: how much competition there is and how big is your inventory. When you have a custom segment based on search keywords, some keywords are just, the audience is just smaller. Even though it's a unique audience, so you may have less competition, it's just a smaller audience, so your CPM is going to be higher. There really is no way of improving that. You can improve the costs based on your CTR, but CPM is going to be always based on that. The seasonality is going to come into play. So as you may notice, at the end of quarters, CPMs in general across all audiences usually bump up, especially towards Christmas time, because everyone's buying. Everyone is competing for the same thing. There's more money out there, more competition out there. I don't know of a way of really increasing the CPV, but I would not focus on that. Like, honestly, my main focus is, am I hitting KPIs? Yes. Have I tried this with other audiences? Yes. Does it work? Yes. Great. Let's scale. That should be the goal. If this does not work with other audiences outside of custom segment for search campaigns, the main thing to realize, if you're realizing that you have a certain audience and it has a high CPM, it's not about trying to bring down the costs more than it's, so can you expand that ad across other types of audiences? If your ad cannot work in other audiences with probably lower CPMs because they're wider, they're a little bit broader, then you won't be able to scale. Bringing a campaign or an account in YouTube ads to just work on custom segment for search terms is not going to be something that's going to be able to take a lot of volume of sales down the road. So it's something you really want to look at. And something else you got to realize is that ad costs are way higher than what they were when I first started doing YouTube ads, which I remember 4 or 5 years ago. They're going to continue to go up. So you really, while you always want to squeeze as much juice as you can, and I don't know what your cost per click is right now. Like, if you have a $10 cost per click, I can tell you right now, yeah, pause the campaign and create a new ad. It depends on your niche, obviously, but yes. But if you're hitting your numbers right now, really focus on, okay, can this ad do this work on other audiences with better CPMs? And on top of that, if the answer is no, then you want to go back to the drawing board and work on that. Leave the campaign as is that you have right now that's working for you, but really look at how can you improve the ad so that down the road, yeah, you can get better costs. Remember, at the end of the day, the question should be asked, did this person buy from me? Did this person generate the lead? Did this person take the action that I need them to take? CPMs, they're going to go up, they're going to go down. The more concentrated your audience, the more it's going to go up. The broader your audience is, it's going to go down. We really cannot control that. We can only control our costs, which is based on CTR, and at the end of the day, whether or not it converts or not.
Perfect. I'll add to what Raf is saying here just to finish it off. First of all, CPV campaigns, generally speaking, they're not the highest converting campaigns. You can get a sale with a CPV campaign, you can get conversions. If you're looking to get people to sign up for something, download something, people do click those campaigns as well, or those ads as well, excuse me. So, but if your main goal is to convert them, right, selling the click, getting them to a page where they need to either opt in, they turn into a lead, or they book a call, or they buy something from you if you're an e-com store, then drive conversions, and using that automated bidding strategy such as max conversions and target CPA will probably be your go-to strategy. And not so much focusing on, oh, I need to lower my CPV, or I need to increase my view rate. I think Raph and I can agree on this, is that if your goal is to get conversions, the ideal thing is you want to make sure that your campaigns are trying to get you conversions at volume at the lowest cost possible, right? That is what it comes down to. So,
and one thing I'd add to that is, I want to be clear here. We're not saying that automated campaigns are the only thing that work versus non-automated campaigns, which would be CPV. CPV has its advantages that you have a little bit more control over where things can show. It's, if you use search campaigns, the comparison would be manual bid versus automated bid. The whole thing what we're trying to explain is, why did you get involved in YouTube ads? If you did it to spend $20 a day, then CPV works fine. You'll get away with that. Or a few hundred a day, you probably still get away with it. But if you said, hey, I want to add a zero to my business, I want to take it to the next level, I want to scale in the true sense of the word, spending thousands and thousands of dollars profitably. The way that, in my experience, automated bidding is the way to go. It is what Google wants you to do. And usually when you do to a certain extent what the platform wants you to do, you will be rewarded. And ultimately, this is why it comes down to having better creatives. CPV works, but you will have a point where you really can't push things. I personally have not had much success with CPV, but then again, the people that I've dealt with, that I've had to manage campaigns for, their goals were to scale. Take that into account.
very important. Thank you, Raph. Okay, so we only have time for one more question here. Ernest asks, I've seen this multiple times. Does anyone have experience running YouTube ads straight to a booking page and having a small questionnaire on your Calendly? No VSL, just straight to a funnel with a Calendly. Have you had experience with this, Raph?
I have had some experience doing this. I'm not against it. I will say this though. You have to have a very good video or a very good landing page. The reason a lot of people have a sign-up page beforehand or a VSL of some sort. The sign-up page is very simple. You need to give it data. Usually when you're booking calls, and I'm talking about products that usually there's some type of niche way. It could be a broad subject like make money online, but it could be a niche of making money online, a sub-niche.
Yep.
You have to feed the algorithm conversions. And a lot of these book call prices, just based on ad prices alone, are going to be rather high. They're going to be in the $100 neighborhood, $200 neighborhood. So imagine you running a campaign, $50 a day, yet you get one conversion. Let's just say it converts at 100. You get one conversion every 2 days. Could you counter that, having maybe a mini conversion when someone clicks on the Calendly? Yeah, you probably could. But for that to be successful, as I said initially in my answer, you really have to have a powerful video. So think of it this way. Your video is your VSL. And if you have a video like that, which if it's long, explaining, it's gonna have higher CPMs, it's gonna have higher costs, keep that in mind. Having said that, by the time they get to your page, they feel like they're sold and they wanna book it. So I'm not saying, very few people have done it, honestly, I've had people, the accounts that we've pushed to do 20, 30, 50, 60, $100,000 a day in spend, have an email opt-in first, and then it's either VSL, you book a call, webinar, you purchase a product, then you book a call. These are the funnels that I've seen spent a lot of money. There's nothing wrong with being a pioneer. You can try that, but your creative has to be awesome. And you cannot just do one. You have to, it's like creating a mini webinar as a YouTube ad. That's what you essentially are doing. So it could be a long video. It will be costly. When I say costly, usually a high CPC is anywhere from $4 to $7 per click. But the person that clicks is already more sold and they're more likely to take action, which depends on how easy you make that action as well. In summary, it could work. I haven't seen the people that have spent lots of money using that method, and it will be that your creative would have to be way better, longer. You have to be willing to deal with probably higher ad costs in the beginning than general, but it could work. Does you have anything to add to that?
YouTube ads and the Google Ads dashboard operates on an algorithm, right? Just like any other ad platform out there. So you want to feed it as much conversions as possible. That's why normally the natural process of information, when it comes to funnels and getting somebody to go into that from brand awareness to taking action to become a customer is getting them to sign up for something, you know, whether it's that lead magnet, you know, whether it's some sort of download, right, for lead magnet, or whether they want to take action, you want to get them to take action on some other lower level offer, low ticket offer, right? So I've seen those mainly work. I've also seen quiz funnels, which is actually segues onto another little question that we've had around here. Quiz funnel actually works really well in certain niches. We have actually clients right now that use this method, and it works really well because it pre-frames your ideal customer really well. You know, you have particular questions that qualifies them, and you know, it gets them through that funnel. People who don't qualify, they just kind of weed themselves out. Those that make it to the end, then they can book a call, and then, you know, you'll have those Calendly embedded iframes within the actual landing page. But you have additional information. You just don't have a Calendly there with the questionnaire, right? Like typically nowadays, people don't like to fill out a long form questionnaire. People prefer going through a quiz funnel, answering one question at a time per frame. That's been proven to work and convert a lot better. So that's what I wanted to add to that. If you're interested in joining our YouTube ads training program and becoming one of our students, where you'll actually be on calls with us, with Raphael specifically, then we'll have a link at the bottom as well, so you can become a student, join the private student group on Facebook, and have access to all the modules that are constantly updated. So again, thanks so much for watching this video. We'll see you on the next one.